These twins, who grew up together, are forced to separate at their father's funeral. The sister, Kaoru, inherits her parents' beauty. Her brother, Tomoki, inherits their kindness and honesty. Neither their uncle nor their aunt wants to take in both children. After discussing, each takes one child, forcing the twins apart. The sensible Kaoru knows that obeying is the only way they can survive. Kaoru says goodbye, Tomoki. Tomoki cries, "No, I don't want to." Ignoring Tomoki's struggles, their uncle drags him away. Kaoru can only watch with tears as her brother leaves. Tomoki keeps calling for his sister from the car. This separation may last forever. Seeing his friend's children torn apart, Mamoru can only feel helpless. Living under someone else's roof is full of hardship. Kaoru's cousin can't stand even looking at her. Kaoru hides in a corner, missing her brother. Tomoki also struggles at his uncle's house. The smallest mistake brings scolding. The timid Tomoki can only cry alone late at night. Today his aunt makes Tomoki fried rice for the day. She tells him to eat it all, but little. Tomoki accidentally knocks over his bowl. Afraid of being scolded, he quickly runs outside with nowhere to go. Tomoki sits by the river, missing his sister. Just then a dog comes to comfort him. The dog says, "Don't cry." Tomoki may be naive, but he knows dogs can't talk. The boy and the dog sit in silence. Meanwhile, Mamoru hears that Tomoki is missing. He and his best friend Jack have been close for over 20 years. Just a week ago, at a gathering, they bragged about their past glories. Jack's favorite thing to show off was his twins, who look nothing alike. Raising them alone is hard, but seeing their smiles makes it all worth it. But when Mamoru sees Jack again, it's at Jack's funeral. The two children are only 6 years old now. They have no one to take care of them. Since his best friend's kids are in trouble, Mamoru can't just ignore them. He quickly finds Kaoru. He hopes she knows where Tomoki likes to go. But Kaoru is worried about her brother. She insists on going with Mamoru to look for him. Maybe twins really have a special connection. Kaoru soon finds Tomoki sleeping inside a pipe. But when Mamoru tries to call their family, the two kids run away. They never want to be separated again. Mamoru runs after them. He catches Kaoru. Kaoru says, "We made a promise to Dad. Dad said we must never be apart." The way Kaoru speaks reminds Mamoru of his good friend Jack. Jack once said his two kids have been together since birth and never separated. While Mamoru is lost in thought, Tomoki suddenly runs over and bites Mamoru's arm. Even when Mamoru pushes him away, Tomoki gets up and holds on tight. Mamoru knows Tomoki must be hurt. Mamoru knows Tomoki must be hurting from that fall. But he never expected shy little Tomoki would fight so hard to protect his sister. Seeing these siblings who only have each other but refuse to be separated, Mamoru's heart softens. He suggests the two kids come live with him, hearing they can stay together forever. The kids' faces light up with joy, and so begins the story of a single older man and two kids. Oh, and a talking dog too. But when they first enter the room, the siblings are shocked by what they see. The place is small, but somehow still manages to be messy. Mamoru looks proudly at his messy home, quite pleased with himself. But the kids already worry about their future life here. To welcome his new guests, Mamoru brings out his prized mackerel can, but in a blink the dog eats it all. Left with no choice, they have plain rice with salt just for tonight. Used to tough situations, the kids, they aren't picky. As long as the siblings are together, even plain rice tastes delicious to them. But while answering a phone call, their last bit of food gets eaten by the dog again. This night becomes the most peaceful sleep they've had since their father died. The next day the two kids wait until Mamoru goes to work, then clean the house to surprise him. But their idea of cleaning is throwing everything dirty into trash bags. They even use their own bodies to mop the floor. When Mamoru sees the spotless house, he feels touched at first, but soon he notices something wrong. Mamoru realizes many things are missing. When he finally understands, he rushes to check the trash. What the kids thought was useless were actually Mamoru's treasures. There's an unfinished Lego set, rare out-of-print magazines, and, most importantly, a baseball that the kid's father left for Mamoru as a keepsake. Tomoki says, "I'm sorry." Mamoru says, "Your dad is gone." Kaoru replies, "We know that already. We know better than you." The two kids run away without looking back. Mamoru realizes he shouldn't have lost his temper. Losing their real father has left the kids hiding their pain inside. Mamoru looks at the baseball his friend left behind, but he doesn't know what to do. Mamoru says, "What should I do? I said terrible things to your kids." A voice says, "You're the worst." Mamoru suddenly hears a voice scolding him, but the room is empty except for himself. It can't be the dog talking, right? Mamoru doesn't think much of it. He thinks it's just his own conscience. So Mamoru quickly runs after them to stay together forever. The siblings decide to run away, but after just 100 meters Tomoki says, "Sis, I'm tired." As the older sister, by 5 minutes Kaoru feels like a mother to her brother. Now Kaoru says, "Come on, I'll carry you." Kaoru tries to straighten her back. She wants to carry her brother, who's already half a head taller, but she ends up falling under his weight. Just then Mamoru runs over. He keeps saying sorry. Mamoru cries while talking about his friendship with the kid's father, but he never expected the two children would end up comforting him. The three of them cry and laugh together. They wipe their tears and head back home. Life must go on. They'll keep their loved ones safe in their hearts. Mamoru says, "Since we cried today, we should eat something nice." But just then a voice speaks again. Dog says, "I want mackerel cans." Kaoru wakes up and is shocked to find her dog can talk. Dog says, "Can't sleep." Kaoru says, "You can talk. That's amazing." Dog says, "Of course I can. Let's play together tomorrow." Kaoru says, "Sweet dreams." Kaoru always believes in fairy tales, so she isn't scared. But Mamoru in the same room thinks this dog is trouble. Dog says time to eat. Mamoru says you talked again. Mamoru tells the doctor in a tired voice. He says a dog is following him, and that dog only wants to eat mackerel canned food. The doctor stays silent for a long time, then tells Mamoru to eat well and get some rest. Mamoru thinks he has a serious illness, but the doctor says it's just stress, and he's hearing things. Mamoru realizes his friend's death might have affected him deeply. To relax, he decides to teach two kids baseball. When Tomoki throws the ball at him, Mamoru sees Tomoki's father, his best friend Jack. He still misses Jack, the friend who would always come, no matter what, with just one call. But now everything has changed. Only memories remain. Some things in life make no sense, but you can't let them go, like hopes, like memories. Mamoru teaches the kids carefully, just like Jack taught him years ago. The sunset lights up this warm scene. The dog watches like an angel. When they go home at night, Mamoru tells them to be quiet. Mamoru reminds them to be quiet. Kids and pets are the landlord's worst enemies. But the landlord's daughter, Aya, catches them red-handed. Aya quickly comes in to check. To everyone's surprise, the dog freezes like a stuffed toy. It even moves forward, like in the game, red light, green light. Then it completely disappears. Aya ignores Mamoru's protests and barges in. The room is full of little girl's clothes, making her question this single man's character. Aya says, "Mr. Mamoru, what are you doing?" Mamoru says, No, it's not what you think." Then they hear noise behind the curtain. Aya didn't expect to find three little surprises at once. Surprisingly, the landlord isn't shocked at all. The nightly thumping sounds already gave him the answer. Aya suggests Mamoru adopt the kids. It just means cooking 2 extra meals. But the landlord won't let his daughter make decisions for others. He knows better than anyone how hard it is to raise kids alone. Today the children's uncle comes to visit. He brings some clean clothes for them. Mamoru thinks the kids can stay with him a little longer, but the uncle says he'll take them back by the weekend at the latest. Mamoru looks very sad after hearing this. He doesn't understand why the two kids can't live together. But every family has its problems. If their father hadn't died, the uncle and aunt wouldn't even talk. Their mother left them when they were very young. She hasn't contacted them since. Mamoru wants to say more, but he knows he can't take responsibility for them. When Mamoru returns to the office, he gets a call from the police. The two kids are in trouble. In his hurry, Mamoru trips over his own feet. Kaoru's clothes fall out of his bag as his co-workers whisper. Mamoru doesn't know how to explain. Once people start guessing, no explanation sounds believable. A co-worker says, "Don't get any ideas about me. That's disgusting. No wonder you're still single." Mamoru just reaches the elevator when he meets the woman he secretly likes. But as soon as he steps in, she reaches into his suit jacket. Just as Mamoru is about to yell, "What are you doing?" the woman places a sticker in his palm. She says, "It's stuck to your jacket." Mamoru says, "Thanks." The woman says, "So Mamoru likes cute things." Mamoru realizes he's completely lost his dating chances at work, and it's all because of these two kids. At the police station earlier that day, the siblings ate all of Mamoru's ice cream. Then they went to buy another box. But the kids got lost and had to ask the police for help. Mamoru struggles hard to explain his connection to the kids. Then he notices the melted ice cream in their hands. He asks where they got the money. Their late father had made each child a Lucky Charm pouch. Each contained 100 yuan emergency money for tough times. But even with both amounts combined, they could only afford the cheapest one. Mamoru says, "Why are you doing this? We can't spend such important money." Seeing the two pitiful little kids, Mamoru's heart melts instantly. So he buys them ice cream and teaches them to write their names. Because everyone's name carries their parents' love. It stays with you forever. But Mamoru's words make Kaoru think deeply. Soon Mamoru notices something strange. Kaoru only practices writing Kaoru, but not her family name. Because Kaoru can't keep her original surname anymore. If Kaoru leaves with her aunt tomorrow, she'll have to take her uncle's family name instead. This is something Mamoru can't accept either. Why do family members become distant relatives when they grow up? Maybe because they start their own families and slowly lose contact. Their uncle and aunt never speak to each other, so the kids will hardly meet again. The two kids close their ice cream boxes, saving the sweetness for their goodbye day. Soon the day of separation comes. The siblings keep calling Mamoru's name. Their eyes are full of hope, but Mamoru can do nothing. He just watches the car drive away. The house that was always full of laughter now feels very quiet. Mamoru looks through the kids' notes. Memories of their time together flash before his eyes. The last line says, "Thank you for being with us." Mamoru can't hold back anymore. He runs after them as fast as he can. This nearly 40-year-old man suddenly finds unbelievable strength. The kids look out the car window. Finally, smiles return to their faces. Their uncle scolds Mamoru for being reckless. This isn't a game. It's not something to take lightly. Raising a child means providing food, clothes, shelter, schooling, even weddings. It's a heavy responsibility. Even family members find it hard, let alone an outsider. But Mamoru won't let his best friend's children be separated. He won't let the siblings become just distant relatives. If Jack was Mamoru's reason to fight against the world, from now on these two kids will be his reason too. The three of them return to their familiar room. The children can now keep their father's last name. At this moment, Mamoru writes down a promise with the siblings in his notebook. Kids should act like kids. Laugh loudly, cry freely. Don't hide your weakest feelings. This is Mamoru's rule. In front of the fancy backpacks at the mall, the kids' eager eyes show how much they love them. But when Mamoru checks the price, he can't believe it. 2 backpacks cost 90,000 yen. The salesperson keeps praising the backpacks endlessly, but Mamoru doesn't listen. "Give me 5 seconds to think," he says. He grits his teeth and stomps his feet. After shouting twice, he bravely takes out his credit card. "Installment plan," Mamoru says firmly. "As many installments as possible." Tomoki is overjoyed, but Kaoru, the mature older sister, knows Mamoru is struggling to make things easier for him. Kaoru says she wants the sold-out pink backpack. This way, Mamoru only needs to buy one for Tomoki. To avoid making Mamoru suspicious, Kaoru smiles and tells him, "You can buy me a pink one later, when it's available." Raising twins is much harder than it seems. Just preparing for school gives Mamoru a headache, even though it's free education. Meals cost over 60,000 yen a year. 2 kids mean double the expenses. For an office worker, this is a huge amount. The school requires parents to make supplies by hand. As the only woman in the building, Aya takes responsibility for teaching Mamoru crafts. That day, Kaoru goes to the storage room. She sees a dusty desk, but still likes it. She really wants it. When Aya enters, Kaoru pretends nothing happened and runs away. After work that evening, Mamoru says he found a pink backpack. Kaoru acts happy, but Aya notices she is pretending to be happy because this is clearly a red backpack, and it doesn't have Kaoru's favorite heart pattern on it. Soon it's time for the 2 kids' school opening ceremony. Mamoru stays up many nights to finish all the handmade supplies they need for school. But Mamoru has to leave for work, so he can't attend the ceremony. Soon after he leaves, he gets a call from Aya. She scolds him angrily, asking why he missed such an important event. Not only does the backpack lack a heart pattern, but he even got the color wrong. It's not pink. Kaoru always hides her sadness and likes deep inside her heart. She knows life is hard now, and she doesn't want to be separated from Tomoki. Aya's words make Mamoru realize how irresponsible he is as a new father. But just then his co-worker's voice suddenly says, "It's not too late to fix things." Mamoru runs desperately to the ceremony. He just wants to make the kids happy. They glance back without realizing. The kids learn that Mamoru is nearby. They feel very happy. During this cherry blossom season, everyone feels hopeful about life. As the camera clicks, the 3 kids and the dog all smile happily. When they return home, they see Aya has turned the storage room into a study. Now the kids have a place to study. The kind landlord makes different meals for the kids every single day. Mamoru writes a second house rule in his notebook. Family members shouldn't be too polite. Just be your true selves. That night, Mamoru stays up late. He sews a heart shape for Kaoru. He makes a rice ball for Tomoki. Tomoki says, "This looks old-fashioned." The dog says, "What? I think it's cute." Mamoru suddenly realizes the dog's voice isn't his imagination. The twins water the plants after school. Before leaving, they even sing a magic song to the flowers. Tomoki asks, "Did they sprout yet?" Kaoru answers, "Not so fast." Just recently, Tomoki becomes the class flower caretaker. From the lack of interest in the role, it's clear no one wants this job. It's an unimportant position. Mamoru tells Tomoki, "Flower caretaking just means watering plants. Use the right amount of water or they won't grow. Well, if you use magic, they'll sprout roots and grow." Tomoki thinks Mamoru sounds silly, but he still believes him. Tomoki's strange behavior makes his classmates laugh at him. Some even mock him for having no parents, saying he can't even draw a family photo. The teacher steps in to defend them, but the teasing makes Tomoki and his sister look down sadly, though Kaoru is also upset. She tries to cheer up her brother. Kaoru says, "There was a girl named Cinderella, even without a mom. She turned her hard life into a fairy tale." Her optimism lifts Tomoki's spirits. No matter how tough life gets, they'll face it together. But on their way home, they meet the class bully again. The bully says, "No, parents, how sad." Kaoru replies, "We're not sad at all." Kaoru stands up for her brother. She pushes the bully away, but she uses too much force. The boy gets hurt. Luckily, Aya steps in just in time. She stops things from getting worse. But what the kids say next almost makes Kaoru burst into tears. Tomoki says, "Everyone says we're weird." Kaoru adds, "Our parents are gone. Is Mamoru still family?" Aya replies, "Of course. People who live together are family." But no matter what Aya says, the kids already see this place as home. Soon their teacher visits the house. He talks about what happened at school. He promises to protect the kids. Mamoru isn't their parent, but he shares his thoughts. Feeling sorry for them is wrong, teacher, huh? Tomoki and Kaoru have their own lives. Don't pity them. Just treat them like normal kids. Too much protection backfires. Now the teacher understands why the siblings stay so positive. Even without parents, they're surrounded by love. The people around them still give them warmth. Today Mamoru gets a task to go on a business trip, but thinking about the two kids at home, he refuses right away. Then he hears that Kana, the girl he likes, is also going. His attitude changes completely. Mamoru asks, "Huh, Kana is going too." His co-worker says, "Can you go?" Mamoru says, "No problem, I'd love to." When Mamoru finds out he'll be on a trip with Kana, the girl he's liked for so long, he immediately looks up the most romantic restaurant. Just as this lonely guy gets lost in his daydreams, the kids ask him to fix the toilet and walk the dog. It ruins his perfect moment. Surprisingly, Kana also has a good impression of Mamoru. A man who works hard is always attractive, whether it's luck or not. A sudden heavy rain ruins their other work plans with free time. Now Kana suggests they have dinner together. At this time Tomoki sees that it's raining heavily outside. He waits until his sister falls asleep. Then he quietly walks outside alone. The dog asks, "Where are you going?" Tomoki says, "I'll be right back." The dog realizes Tomoki might be in danger. He quickly wakes up. Kaoru asks, "Where's Tomoki?" The dog says, "He might be going to school." Kaoru rushes out into the storm to find her brother. It turns out Tomoki is worried about his little flower. He doesn't want it to get ruined by the heavy rain. He runs all the way there just to give it an umbrella. He even sings a song to protect the flower. Kaoru finally finds him. The two head home together. But after being out in the rain, Tomoki feels weak. Kaoru helps him into bed. She touches his forehead and realizes he has a fever. She tries to call Mamoru for help, but she remembers he said earlier, "I have important work tomorrow. I might come home very late. Be good, you two." Tomoki's mind starts to fade. He looks more and more unwell. Even with a cold towel on his forehead, he doesn't get better. Kaoru doesn't know what to do. Tomoki's condition keeps getting worse. Tomoki looks more and more in pain. Even with a wet towel wiping his forehead again and again, his condition doesn't get better. With no other choice, Kaoru makes a phone call. Right now Mamoru is having dinner with his crush. The romantic mood is getting stronger. But when he hears Tomoki is sick, Mamoru doesn't hesitate to choose his non-blood related family. Mamoru could have asked the landlord to watch the kids and stayed on his date. But between love and family, the kids are his clear choice. When Aya hears they're going to the hospital, she quickly joins them. Mamoru, who's doing his best for his family, seems to shine right now. After all the trouble, Tomoki finally starts feeling better. But Mamoru blames himself deeply. He didn't expect Tomoki to run out in the rain to cast a spell on the flower because of his joke. He also shouldn't have left the kids alone. But Kaoru says, even when unconscious, Tomoki kept calling Mamoru's name. That's how he shows he accepts him as family. When Tomoki wakes up, the first thing he does is thank Mamoru, because Mamoru didn't lie to him. After the magic spell, the little flower really starts to grow. Tomoki says, "I don't have parents, but I'm happy as long as Mamoru is here." At this moment Mamoru can't hold back his tears. Mamoru, who always felt like a failure, finally feels needed for the first time. Maybe this is what being a father feels like. Soon Tomoki recovers completely. Mamoru writes down the third house rule: wash your hands and mouth often to stay healthy. But suddenly Mamoru's vision goes dark. He faints and falls to the ground. Kaoru shouts, "Mamoru, Mamoru, Mamoru." At the hospital, they learn he has mumps to protect the kids from getting sick. Aya clears out the storage room for isolation. When Mamoru's mother hears her son is sick, she rushes from the countryside. She's shocked to see two kids in the house. When she learns Mamoru adopted Jack's children, she gets very angry. She says, "You can't even take care of yourself. How can you raise two young kids?" Though she threatens to send the kids away, she immediately starts cooking delicious food for them. She makes lots of tasty food for them. When she learns that Mamoru often feeds the kids just plain rice with sesame salt, Mamoru's mom scolds him for being irresponsible. Just then Mamoru's mom notices Tomoki refuses to eat carrots. His school teacher often scolds him too. It turns out Tomoki gets in trouble at school for being a picky eater. Kaoru doesn't want her brother to feel bad, so she secretly eats his vegetables for him. As she spends more time with the kids, Mamoru's mom grows fonder of them. She not only cooks delicious meals every day, but also tells them stories about Mamoru and Jack as children. Back then Jack loved eating Mamoru's mom's home-cooked meals, but no one expected that years later everything would change. Tomoki promises to finish all his food and stop being picky. Seeing how well-behaved the kids are, Mamoru's mom feels a little sad. She talks to Mamoru again, knowing he can't give the twins enough care. Mamoru doesn't have to live this hard life, but with 2 kids to raise he can't even pursue his own happiness. Not many girls would want to accept such a heavy responsibility. Mamoru understands his mom's worries, but he still can't give up. The next day, Mamoru's mom takes the kids to visit Jack's grave. Standing before their father's tombstone, the siblings share their wish. They want to stay with Mamoru forever. They never want to be apart. We'll love Mamoru just like we love Dad. Hearing the children's words, Mamoru's mom bursts into tears. She realizes that in their hearts Mamoru has already become their father. Meanwhile, when Aya learns that Mamoru's mom wants to send the kids away, she can't focus on anything. She doesn't want the siblings to be sad. She admires Mamoru's courage too. So Aya makes up her mind to talk with Mamoru's mom. She lies and tells her that she's dating Mamoru and plans to raise the 2 kids together. Just then someone knocks on the door. A woman says, "I'm Mamoru's fiancé. My name is Kana." Now things get really complicated. It turns out Mamoru asked his co-worker, Kana, to pretend to be his girlfriend to fool his mom. Actually, when Mom sees the awkward looks on both girls' faces, she already guesses the truth. So Mamoru's mom decides not to push him. No matter what choice Mamoru makes, she'll always support him quietly. But between the two, Mamoru's mom says she likes Aya a bit more. Soon Mamoru's health improves. His mom decides it's time to go home. On the way to the station, Mom thanks Aya for everything she's done for Mamoru. Aya says it was actually Mamoru who showed her more warmth in everyday life. Mom says, "Please take good care of each other." Aya replies, "We will." That same day Mamoru writes his 4th rule, eat everything without picking. Finishing your meal is the best way to thank the cook. Meanwhile, observant Kara notices Mamoru looking more tired lately. He works late every night to help ease his burden. Kaoru wakes up early to make porridge and eggs, but she didn't expect cooking to be so hard. She not only gets Mamoru's papers wet, but the frying pan starts smoking too. Mamoru doesn't complain at all, but Kaoru knows it was really dangerous at school. John, who always bullies her, doesn't hold back. John says, "Too bad, you've become Mamoru's burden. He's going to abandon you." "Mamoru isn't family anymore," Kaoru shouts. That's not true. John's words make Kaoru extremely angry, but while chasing him, John trips and scrapes his knee. Mamoru rushes to school and makes Kaoru apologize without asking why. Even though the teacher says both are at fault, Mamoru still bows deeply for her. The next day Kaoru refuses to go to school. Because of this, they have their first big fight. The landlord tells Mamoru, even if she's young, you can't ignore her feelings. When she pouts or gets mad at you, it means she truly sees you as family. After crying all day, Kaoru asks again what family means. Aya says, "You are family." Aya says, "We're family because we live together." Kaoru asks, "Can we really stay together forever?" At this moment Aya understands Kaoru's worry. They aren't related by blood. If they ever separate, how can they keep their bond? At work, Mamoru gets a call from Aya. Aya explains why Kaoru is upset. Kaoru is afraid that without blood ties they might one day drift apart. Mamoru realizes he's been avoiding the real issue and hasn't understood how the kids truly feel at home. Kaoru waits. When Mamoru doesn't return late at night, Kaoru thinks it's because of her tantrum. She fears she's hurt Mamoru deeply. So the siblings decide to go apologize to Mamoru, but the confusing station names leave them lost. Luckily Mamoru spots them after work. He sees Kaoru practicing her bow. Tears fill Mamoru's eyes. Mamoru asks, "Why are you here?" Kaoru says, "Mamoru, I'm sorry." Mamoru tells the siblings, "Don't worry about anything. We'll always be together. Even if I get really angry, I'll never leave you." Mamoru takes out a stamp. It has a picture of the three of them and their dog. Mamoru immediately makes the fifth rule. No matter if we're annoyed or happy, our family will always stick together. Mamoru lies on a park bench in the sun, but suddenly police officers rush toward him. They show a wanted poster. Even the kids who live with him think it looks just like him. After the misunderstanding, Mamoru learns that the kid's birthday is this week. As their guardian, he hasn't prepared anything, so he decides to grant them a wish, no matter how much it costs. But the siblings say they already wrote letters to Santa. Wishes won't come true if you say them. So Mamoru sends the dog as a spy to find out their wishes. To make the kids share their secret, he and the dog play a game of rock, paper, scissors. That day the kids come home from school. The children don't know it, but a mysterious woman is watching their every move. Suddenly, a bicycle fails to stop in time. Tomoki falls to the ground. The mysterious woman rushes over. She looks even more worried than Aya. She carefully bandages Tomoki's wound. She gently touches the children's faces with love. Without realizing it, tears fill her eyes. Aya calls them to come home, but after a few steps Kaoru suddenly turns her head. This mysterious woman looks so familiar, like looking in a mirror. Mamoru learns the children have been playing with a strange woman. They even forget to come home. Mamoru thinks she must be the twins' mother. Tomoki's uncle once said their mom left when they were 3 years old. Before Jack died, he's still worried about his wife. Mamoru gently asks the children about their mother. After all these years, they've already forgotten what she looks like. That day, Mamoru receives a call. Mamoru gets a call from the kid's mother. Mamoru has many questions to ask her. The mother says she had postpartum depression back then. She was afraid she might lose control one day after leaving home. Through countless seasons, the kids remained her only concern. The mother asks, "If I don't tell them I'm their mom, can I still visit them often?" Mamoru says, "Why come back after leaving?" Mamoru wants the mother to stay out of the kids' lives. Don't make them sad again. Mamoru accidentally finds the kids' photo album and Jack's diary. Jack's writing shows daily life and his love for his wife and kids. It clearly records the kids' little moments and the toys they wanted most that night. Mamoru drinks a lot, but can't shake his sadness. He fears, no matter how hard he tries, he can't compete with blood ties. The landlord says, "Don't underestimate yourself. Being there for the kids matters more than blood relations." Soon the kids' 7th birthday arrives. But when Mamoru hears what gifts they want, Mamoru feels stuck. He doesn't understand what the kids want. Mamoru thinks, "What is this? What does this even mean?" To find the answer, Mamoru asks grown-up Detective Conan for help. But Conan says unless someone dies, it's hard for him to solve the case. Mamoru searches the whole library. He visits every toy store. Even other kids their age find it too difficult. Then Mamoru reads his late friend's diary. He realizes it's their family's secret code. Soon the birthday arrives. The siblings see Mamoru's gift. Their faces light up with pure happiness. The kids' wishes are simple. The sister just wants wrapping paper to play pretend as a shopkeeper. The brother wants plastic bubble wrap to relieve stress. But then Aya tells Mamoru the kid's mom is here. The mom knows she can't be forgiven, so she decides to leave quietly as if she was never here. She makes the twins' favorite cake, their favorite cake from before. She hopes the children will always keep smiling. She wants to buy them gifts, but doesn't know what they like anymore. After all, for years have passed. Many things have changed. Please take good care of the kids. Mamoru brings the cake to them, but they say, it tastes just like before. The siblings sing their childhood song. Mamoru thinks deeply. They never forgot their mother's taste. It's still in their hearts. Mamoru runs out without hesitation. No one can replace real parents. He tells their mom, nothing has changed. Even after all these years, they still love your cake. Please go see them. The mother doesn't reveal herself. She acts like a stranger. The kids love her cake. It tastes like mom's. She tells them to always smile and make Mamoru proud. They ask, will we see you again? She says, I'm going to a faraway place. We probably won't meet again. Maybe years later the kids will still remember this aunt because of the way she looked at them with so much love in her eyes. Everyone chooses to hide the truth. They tell the siblings that their mother has gone to heaven. The kids never find out that their real mother abandoned them. They think meeting this woman was just an ordinary, unexpected moment in life. Mamoru writes the 6th rule. On birthdays the family must stay together. Mamoru wants to see the kids grow up year by year and watch these 2 flowers of hope bloom fully. Mamoru gathers courage to confess to Kana, whom he has liked for a long time. Maybe because he's nervous his words don't come out right. Kana just gently touches her hair and stays silent. Mamoru says, it's okay, don't worry about it. This is just my one-sided feeling. Kana says, please take care of me from now on. Mamoru says, really, that's great. Mamoru thought he would be rejected harshly, but happiness comes so suddenly. But Mamoru hesitates for a long time. Mamoru still doesn't mention that he has kids. He's afraid this hard-won happiness might disappear in an instant. But sometimes the thing you fear most happens. The next day the 2 kids sneak into the office and bump right into Kana. Kana asks, whose children are you? The startled kids immediately run to Mamoru under everyone's surprised gaze. Mamoru knows hiding won't work. He tries to explain, but everyone's already focused on the kids. Kaoru says, we came to research work. Their teacher gave them a homework assignment to write about their parents' hard work, so the kids secretly came to the office. When Kana learns the truth, she doesn't break up with him. It's Mamoru's responsibility and kindness that make him shine soon. Kana invites Mamoru on a date for dinner and a movie. Kana says, since we're going, why don't we take the kids with us? Mamoru says no need. Kana says it's okay. More people means more fun. Mamoru didn't expect Kana to be so kind and caring. He feels like he's in heaven. Having a girlfriend really changes things. When they go out she prepares all kinds of lunchboxes. The kids shout, Mamoru, come play baseball with us. But Kana notices Mamoru often plays with the kids and ignores her. Watching them jump around singing songs, Kana gives a bitter smile. After being left out all day, Kana decides to break up. She can't stand feeling left out. Kana can see Mamoru only has eyes for the kids, but she can never become a mother figure. She says I even think life would be better without these 2 kids. I really hate myself for feeling this way. Mamoru says we could return the kids to their relatives. Mamoru suddenly stops talking. He realizes how terrible he's being. He can't believe he thought about sending the kids away. At this moment Mamoru understands if he wants to take care of the kids, he might not have enough love left for his girlfriend. This relationship can only end. Sadly, The kids notice Mamoru looks tired, but to the siblings Mamoru is like a superhero. He can do magic tricks and earn money for the family. Kaoru shows her school diary, where she wrote about Mamoru. At work Mamoru acts like a dad. At home he acts like a mom. He does both parents' jobs. Mamoru works very hard. I really want to thank him. Mamoru knows his efforts are worth it. After going through all life's twists, a smooth road must lie ahead. Today, Kaoru happily steps in puddles, but suddenly a car speeds by. Water splashes all over Kaoru. Soon Mamoru finds Kaoru's dropped umbrella. He quickly goes to find grown-up Detective Conan. After hearing Mamoru's description, Conan says he thinks he saw a girl going to the park. They search all the way to the riverbank, but they find a handkerchief in the river. Mamoru rushes in without thinking, but he stops just before reaching it. Mamoru has a bad feeling. He suddenly loses control. Mamoru shouts, "Kaoru!" But just then Mamoru gets a call from the landlord. The landlord says, "Kaoru is back." Mamoru runs home like crazy, but he sees the kid's mom. Mamoru says, "Why are you here?" Turns out the mother never left. She was always with the kids. Seeing Kaoru covered in dirty water, the mother rushes to her, asking if she's hurt. In this aunt's arms, all worries seem to disappear. Mother and daughter go shopping, buying lots of pretty clothes. The mother carefully asks her daughter about her memories of mom. Kaoru says, "Mom must be very beautiful. That's what Dad said. Very kind and very beautiful." She also loves Kaoru and Tomoki very much. The adults create a perfect mother life for the kids. They just want them to move forward with everyone's love. But when Mamoru sees his real mother again, he stops smiling. Kaoru says the aunt bought many things for them. "Please don't be mad at us." Mamoru says, "Leave now. Get out." This is the first time Mamoru gets angry. Everyone freezes in shock. Mamoru doesn't believe a mother who abandoned her kids can change her heart. He also doesn't want the kids to leave him. Kaoru doesn't understand why Mamoru hates this aunt. She seems to really like them. Kaoru says, "Aren't you her friend?" Mamoru says, "You can't see her." Tomoki says, "Mamoru, you're weird. Even if I'm weird, you still can't see her." Kaoru didn't expect Mamoru to react so strongly, but she can't understand his feelings as they keep pushing each other. Mamoru angrily shoves her away. Kaoru says, "I hate you, Mamoru." Kaoru runs back to her room crying. Without realizing it, she starts missing that aunt. Mamoru thinks he's being too selfish. Even letting mother and daughter meet once is something he can't accept. But Mamoru just wants to stay with the kids forever. From that night on, Kaoru stops talking to Mamoru completely. Even when Mamoru tries to be nice, Kaoru ignores him. Mamoru feels heartbroken and helpless. The only thing he can do is cry secretly at his friend's grave. Mamoru says, "Is it too selfish not to let them meet? I'm really afraid the kids will be taken away from me. I love them so much. Jack, what should I do? Please tell me." At home the siblings play alone and start whispering to each other. Tomoki tells his sister that when he thought she fell in the river, Mamoru rushed in without thinking. The river water was freezing after the rain, but to find Kaoru, Mamoru didn't care about any difficulty. Tomoki says, "He was really worried about you. He kept calling Kaoru Kaoru." Kaoru opens Mamoru's rule book. Every page contains lessons Mamoru taught them. The lessons Mamoru taught them. They include small things from daily life and are full of deep love. When Kaoru turns to one page, it says whether happy or sad, family should always stay together. Kaoru understands why she and Tomoki can laugh without worries because they're always surrounded by Mamoru's love. The siblings hide in their room, planning a secret surprise. When Mamoru returns home, the house is strangely quiet. Thinking they're bored, he takes a nap. He wakes up to find a gold medal hanging around his neck and a letter on the table. The kids thank Mamoru for being there. Just having him nearby makes them feel safe without words. "You're not our dad or mom, but we love you most." Mamoru runs to the riverbank where the twins first ran away from home. Mamoru says, "This is my first gold medal. I really love it." The kids tell Mamoru it's Father's Day, so they specially want to say thank you to Mamoru. "Thank you for putting up with our mischief. Even when life is hard, you still smile." The three of them hug each other. Their hearts are full of hope for the future. Mamoru understands that the kid's mother coming back doesn't take away their love for him, and true feelings can't be broken by anything. The family looks at the dreamy sunset. They watch as the setting sun makes the city glow. After the warm and romantic evening, the moon always rises above the trees, and at this moment the whole world feels extra gentle. That night Mamoru sorts through the photo album alone. Every picture has a special meaning. Mamoru says it's hard to believe that one day I could talk to a dog like a friend. The dog says, "Because we've always been friends." Mamoru says, "Were we friends before?" That day, Kaoru accidentally finds a package. Inside is a yellowed photo album. What surprises her is the woman she met by chance is holding her as a baby. The family looks so happy. Kaoru realizes this must be her mother, the woman who keeps appearing around them. Could she be her? Mamoru wakes up from sleep when the dog barks. He sees the photo in Kaoru's hand. He suddenly feels something hard to describe. Kaoru asks, "Mamoru, is that lady our mom? Is mom still alive?" Mamoru instinctively decides to lie. He says, "This lady just looks like Mom, but her style and hair are different. Mom was much younger and prettier." His explanation has many holes, but Kaoru still trusts Mamoru completely. She thinks this photo is special. It must mean something. Kaoru asks, "Can I keep this photo?" Mamoru has no reason to say no. After finally getting the kids to sleep, Mamoru gets a call from their mom. She seems hesitant to speak. Mamoru feels something bad is coming. She keeps asking him questions. Does raising kids alone affect your work? Does it stop you from marrying? Mamoru understands she wants to take the kids back, but Mamoru knows how empty he'll feel without these two children. Mamoru says, "Don't worry about the kids. I'll take good care of them." But sometimes one problem follows another. As soon as Mamoru returns, he gets a message from the landlord. An elderly couple came to their house in the afternoon. They say they lost a gray Yorkshire Terrier. Maybe the dog's real owners have come looking. The children cry when they hear this. They don't want to say goodbye to the dog. But Mamoru believes, no matter what, the dog should return to its owners. Even though it's sad, they must part ways. Mamoru tells the landlord he's stuck in a difficult situation. His words seem to describe his own feelings too. Both the children and the dog have their own families. Even if Mamoru tries to stop it, they'll reunite someday. Mamoru says, "I really wish we could stay together forever." The next day Mamoru returns the dog to the elderly couple, but surprisingly, they say this isn't their Yorkshire Terrier. The old man says, "This isn't our dog. It just looks similar." When Mamoru learns they won't be separated, he finally breathes a sigh of relief. But he still sincerely wishes the couple can find their dog soon. But remembering the sad look on the couple's faces as they left, Mamoru feels sad too. Maybe the kid's mom is also going through the same pain. When the kids see the dog return, they finally smile happily. Since they promised to be a family, no one can be left out soon. The kids' sports day arrives. The landlord and Aya cheer for the siblings. But then Mamoru spots the kid's mom. She clearly notices him too. Maybe, seeing Mamoru's helplessness, the mom quickly turns to leave. Mamoru knows she still deeply loves her kids, even after all these years. She says, "I never stopped thinking about them. These 4 years I regretted it every day. Maybe I was too harsh. Maybe she has her own struggles." So Mamoru rushes after her. Mamoru says, "We made too much food. Aya cooked too much. We can't finish it. Would you like to join us? Don't let it go to waste." Maybe the kids want you to cheer for them too. But no one expected that. Kaoru, while dancing in the group performance, suddenly sees her mom return. Kaoru forgets the dance moves. She looks confused for a moment. She loses focus and can't keep up with the rhythm. Mamoru doesn't want Kaoru's hard work to go to waste. He quickly runs in front of the kids. He starts dancing, without caring how he looks, with Mamoru leading. Kaoru finally catches the rhythm again. Seeing this, their mother looks very happy. Maybe Mamoru really is someone they can trust. The kids will probably be happy with him. She missed watching her kids grow up. She lost those precious moments. How can she face them now and try to take them back? Mamoru notices the mother with tears in her eyes. As an outsider, he has no right to stop her on the way back. The kids fall asleep on their backs. The adults carrying them must think about their future. The mother says, "Mamoru, please take care of my kids." Mamoru says, "Okay, I understand." The road ahead may still be long, but nothing can stop them from moving toward happiness. Before leaving, Kaoru finally asks the question she's been holding back. Kaoru says, "Auntie, are you my mom?" The mother says no. In the end, she doesn't admit it. She abandoned them years ago. How can she deserve to hear them call her mom now? Since she's leaving them with Mamoru, she won't trouble them anymore. She just hopes the kids will be good and grow up fast. That night Mamoru finds Jack's diary. There's an unsent letter inside. He never mailed it. It's written to his wife. Turns out Jack forgave the kids' mom long ago. He even hoped after his death she'd return to give them a home. Now Mamoru understands everything he's done goes against his friend's last wish. He even tore apart the kids and their mother. He runs out like crazy, yelling to let out his feelings. At his lowest moment Mamoru unexpectedly finds Aya. He pours out all his troubles and frustrations to her. Aya says, "You'll feel lonely without the kids, won't you?" Mamoru replies, "Yes, I definitely will. They're like family to me." But no matter what, Mamoru decides to send the kids back. He doesn't want his selfishness to leave them without a mother. Seeing this nearly 40-year-old man cry his heart out, Aya understands how helpless Mamoru feels right now. Tomoki says, "Do you know how much I get made fun of? Why didn't you come back to see us? Why didn't you come back when Dad died?" The kids' sharp questions leave their mother speechless. She truly feels like a failure as a mom, overwhelmed. The siblings run out angrily. The mother knows they can't accept the truth, and a mother like her doesn't deserve forgiveness. Aya finds the siblings by the river and gently talks to them from the heart. There isn't a mother in this world who doesn't love her child. No mother would ever leave home without a good reason. So everyone made up a kind lie. But we hope you can meet her soon. The children have imagined many times what their mother looks like, but in their hearts a mother should be as kind and gentle as Aya. After thinking for a long time, Mamoru decides to write one last rule for the children. Even if we're apart, we're still family. At this moment, the children realize they might be sent back to their mother. Mamoru says, "You will grow up someday, and this house won't even fit you all. Kaoru will become a mother one day, and Tomoki will have his own family. Letting you return to your mother was also Jack's last wish. Your mother didn't abandon you. She has depression and her heart is hurting every time we say goodbye. It's so we can meet again better." Tomoki says, "It's okay if we don't have a mother. I don't want to be separated from you because of mom." Mamoru says, "Tomoki, never say you don't need a mother. Never say you don't need family." But the young child won't listen. He ignores these big words. He tears up that page of rules. Tomoki runs back inside crying. The family seems like it might fall apart any moment. Kaoru brings Tomoki Mamoru's rules. She tells him every rule is for their good, even if they're apart. Someday these lessons will help them forever. Try to make Mamoru proud. We should say goodbye to Mamoru cheerfully. Mamoru says, "Don't fear goodbyes. No matter where we are, we'll always be family." They hug each other tightly. That night the kids tell Aya, "If we leave Mamoru, please take care of him." They say the same thing to their dog too. The kids already see Mamoru as their dad. They dreamed of spending many seasons together, but now goodbye is coming. At their last meal the kids eat slowly, maybe because the time to say goodbye is getting closer. They want to hold on to every moment they have together. Mamoru leaves the siblings with their mother. Mamoru tries to stay calm. He shouts, "Don't forget our promise." As the bus drives away, he looks like a father watching his children leave. Every place Mamoru goes, he remembers his time with the two kids. He only lets his tears fall when the kids can't see him. Their journey had laughter and confusion, joy when they were together and sadness when they parted. But every memory with the kids is precious to Mamoru. Meanwhile, the kids finally call her mom for the first time. They keep comforting her too. "We didn't know you were sick, Mom. If you get sick again, we'll fight it together. Mom, family is more important than anything. That's what Mamoru taught us. Thank you for coming back to us, Mom." Their mother cries happy tears. Now the kids finally understand. Mom has had a hard time. All these years, the brother and sister follow Mamoru's rules. They repeat the lessons Mamoru taught them. They may not fully understand yet the deeper meaning, but they will keep it in their hearts. Mom looks at Mamoru's last rule. She starts to think deeply. Mamoru returns to his quiet room. The children's laughter is gone. They really left. The dog says, "Momo, thank you." Mamoru suddenly realizes the dog just called him Momo. Only his late friend Jack used to call him that. "Are you Jack?" But at that moment golden light shines around his friend. Then it fades away. The dog looks normal again. His friend was always watching over them, staying by their side until the children found a home. Then he went to heaven. Now even his friend is gone. Mamoru feels completely alone. As Mamoru cries, Aya runs over. She brings him something, but Mamoru drops it. The things fall to the ground. Their hands touch by accident. Both of their hearts beat faster. Suddenly the kids come back. Their mom realizes she can never replace Mamoru in the kids' hearts. Keep living with him. Just like Mamoru said, family can be far apart, but distance doesn't matter. She promises to try harder to be their mom and make them love her again. Soon everything goes back to how it was before. The family enjoys happy times together under the warm, lazy sun. The only difference is the dog never talks again. Mamoru feels complicated as he tries to explain something to the kids. Suddenly Momo speaks. "We'll be late if we don't go now." "What nonsense, Momo." During summer break Mamoru takes the kids to his friend Alex's grape farm. Alex has twin kids the same age as Kaoru and the others. Alex tells Mamoru the grape business hasn't been good these years, so his wife Emma wants to give up the vineyard. She plans to move the family to the city. Mamoru wants to discuss solutions with his friend, but then he gets a call from Aya. Their landlord suddenly fainted. Now Aya is alone. She doesn't know what to do. Mamoru decides to go home immediately. He leaves the kids in the countryside for now. He thinks the siblings might miss him, but the kids are actually happy. They jump with joy. They meet another pair of twins. They become friends. After a fight, they form a team called Grape Warriors. Country life is always colorful and peaceful. City people should try a bowl of slow-cooked porridge here. It might give you a new feeling you've never had before. This small village takes only 30 minutes to bike around. It has beautiful mountains and rivers. You can hear the wind sing and see clear water. There are tall bamboo trees too. When the spring breeze blows, the mountains and fields are filled with the scent of flowers, just like in the songs they often sing. The distant northern lights have also appeared in the village, but no one knows if it's just the glow of sparklers in the children's hands. At night, after meals, the elders love to tell stories about spirits and monsters. They describe the unknown world as vast and mysterious. A kappa lives in the river at the village entrance. Isn't that amazing? Kaoru asks, "Hey, Grandma, can the kappa grant wishes?" Grandma says, "Shoo, that's a secret." But just as the kids cheer excitedly, Alex scolds them and forbids them to go there. The river outside the village is deep and dark. At night, the children hear Alex and Emma arguing loudly. They fight over whether to move to the city. The disagreement gets intense. Emma believes city life offers better living conditions and education, but Alex wants to stay and tend the orchard. It was once the family's pride. The kids say their mother works hard every day to give them a better life. She never stops trying. But then family problems start growing. The couple never smiles anymore. Kaoru says whether they like or dislike each other, they're still family. Tomoki says this is the rule Mamoru made. Meanwhile, Mamoru arrives at the hospital, but when he gets there he finds the landlord only hurt his back. Aya feels very sorry. She thinks she wasted Mamoru's time and the kids' trip. That's great. Are you sure it's not life-threatening? You really scared me. Aya didn't expect Mamoru to care so much about her father, and this man's actions completely win her heart. Late at night, she brings Mamoru food and tries to show her feelings for him. I'm so happy you came back right away. Really happy. But Mamoru is totally clueless. He doesn't notice anything. Even the dog gets frustrated and scratches its head. The dog tries to bring them together. After a while, Aya feels something cold on her back. She turns and sees the dog brought a snake, almost fainting in shock. The two, who were still a bit shy, suddenly hug each other. As for whether it's a toy snake, it doesn't matter anymore. Even though Jack is now a dog, he's still Mamoru's best friend. The next day, Mamoru picks up the siblings from the countryside. They bring back many gifts. Most importantly, they give Aya and Mamoru matching couple keychains. Both blush instantly. That day, Mamoru accidentally meets Emma. He learns she took the kids back to her parents in the city. Her husband and mother-in-law chose to stay in the countryside. Mamoru knows everything Emma did was for the kids. So no matter how he tries to stop her, it would seem selfish. The kids think hard together and decide to ask the Kappa for help. They steal the landlord's cucumbers to use as bait for the Kappa. But their trap would only work on grown-up Detective Conan. The Kappa is nowhere to be seen. Mamoru tells the kids, parents have their own reasons. What you're doing won't help at all. They ask how they can meet the Kappa. The Kappa can grant our wishes. Then Max's parents will make up. In the following days, Mamoru keeps thinking about the Kappa. When he remembers the kids' sad faces, his heart aches a little. His boss says, don't you look like a Kappa? Mamoru asks, wait, what do you mean? A coworker says, now that you mention it, you do. That night, Mamoru gives the kids a map. It shows where to find the Kappa, but he tells them not to get too close when making wishes. Just shout their wishes loudly. The next day, the kids excitedly go to the riverbank to find the legendary Kappa and make their wishes. Are you really the Kappa? The kids leave their most precious things by the river. To exchange for their wishes, Max puts down a family photo showing how much he misses them. He wishes his parents won't separate and the family can stay together forever. At this moment, Max's mom suddenly appears by the shore. Emma noticed early this morning that the kids were missing, but they left behind a map to find the Kappa. Emma understands the kids' sadness. They don't want to be separated from their parents. Please, Mr. Kappa, please, please. The children's wish is actually simple. It's just that adults make everything seem too complicated compared to comfortable city life. They'd rather see their families' smiling faces around the dinner table. Emma watches the two kids making wishes and finally sees how mature they are. Mamoru stays completely quiet, just clumsily making a heart shape with his hands. Seeing the Kappa's response, the kids get super excited. Then Kaoru makes her wish too. Kaoru says, Mamoru is a lonely crybaby, but he's really good to us. He works so hard for me and Tomoki. So, I love Mamoru more than anyone in the world. Tomoki says, I love Mamoru most too. Mamoru suddenly hears their heartfelt words. Warm feelings fill his heart instantly. The kids don't want Mamoru to give up his happiness for them. They just want him to think about himself more. They don't want him to always sacrifice. Mamoru tries hard to wipe his tears. He gives the siblings a big heart sign. Seeing the Kappa's reply, the kids happily start their way home. But when Mamoru runs to the shore, he finds the gift the kids left is gone. Then he turns around and sees a real Kappa. But then he thinks if his best friend can turn into a dog, seeing a Kappa today isn't so hard to believe. Later, Mamoru talks with Emma. For a long time, they share their feelings about raising kids. Emma always thought the kids would be happy if they followed her path, but now she sees she was wrong. She almost took away their joy in life. Emma decides to listen to the kids' wishes. She wants things to go back to normal. Just like Mamoru says, even plain rice with sesame salt tastes extra sweet. Back home, the kids tell Aya they made a wish to the river spirit. The siblings also know. Mamoru's happiness is right in front of him because the couple's pendant from the kids Aya and Mamoru already wear at their waists. Kaoru asks, Aya, do you like Mamoru? Aya replies, yes, I do. 3 years pass in a blink. All the little moments with the kids feel like they happened yesterday. Watching his children shine on stage, the father's eyes fill with tears. When the performance ends, Mamoru is always first to clap. What his daughter looks forward to most is her father's proud gaze. Kaoru has grown into a lovely young girl. Everyone adores. Tomoki becomes a handsome boy as long as the kids. Mamoru just wants them to grow up happily. He doesn't ask for anything more. But then a talent scout stops them. They immediately notice Kaoru praising her natural talent endlessly, saying she could be a superstar with training. Mamoru only wanted singing and dancing to be their hobby. Now he's so worried he can't sleep. Turns out father and daughter have been. They often argue about this. Kaoru really wants to join a girl group. She asks Mamoru to sign her up for dance classes, but when Mamoru sees the high cost, he feels nervous about it. He says without a talent agency's support, it's just a dream. Kaoru says, fine, I'll ask mom for help. The next day their mom takes the kids away before leaving. Kaoru doesn't even say goodbye, seeing the happy family together. Mamoru regrets not supporting his child's dream. That night the kids ask to stay with their mom. Their mom thanks Mamoru for raising them these years. Mom says I still feel unsure sometimes I'm not really their mom. Yet Mamoru understands her meaning. As long as he stays in their lives, the kids can't fully return to their mom. This situation lasts for 3 years. Remembering their daily life together, everything reminds him of the kids. Now the siblings are growing up. Maybe they should return to their real home. But before they leave, Mamoru wants to fulfill all the children's wishes. After getting a Talent Scout's business card, he decides to take Kaoru for an audition. Kaoru says really. Mamoru says, yes, sleep well tonight. Kaoru says, thank you Mamoru. To Mamoru's surprise, this talent agency is very big, but just one training session costs 28,000 yen. Seeing Kaoru's hopeful eyes, Mamoru still signs her up. A full year of training fees might bankrupt Mamoru, but he believes his daughter can succeed. Mamoru always remembers every dance Kaoru performs and her bright natural smile. Some people are just born for the stage. Right after making Kaoru happy, Mamoru learns Tomoki has a crush on a girl. Mamoru tells Tomoki these feelings are just a young boy's first love. Some things only make sense when you grow up. For now you can start as friends. A well-written letter can express your feelings perfectly. So this 40-year-old, still single Mamoru suddenly becomes a love advisor. He starts coaching Tomoki. When Tomoki gives the letter as a friendly gesture, the girl accepts it openly. She says, a letter, thanks. But when she sees the insect balbon that Mamoru carefully made, she runs away in fear. Kaoru says, why didn't you ask me for advice? And you called it a secret. Tomoki says, but Mamoru said girls like small animals. A butterfly balbon can last forever. When Aya and Kaoru first hear about giving a balbon as a gift, they are completely shocked. No wonder Mamoru is still single at 40. It makes sense now. Aya has been unhappy with Mamoru for a long time. His stubbornness and indecisiveness keep them breaking up and getting back together. They still haven't settled things. Their latest fight is about whether the crab fried rice has real crab or just imitation crab. Such a silly little thing. Meanwhile, Kaoru signs with an agency, but she's the youngest one there. If she wants to keep up with the others, she needs to work much harder. Kaoru wants to be a star so badly. She practices from morning till night. She even skips meals. Her manager says she improves fast. She's born to be in show business. Recently a kids show on TV has chosen Kaoru as a finalist easily. If she practices crying scenes well, she'll surely get the lead role. At night, when kids fall asleep, Mamoru thinks about his own life. He takes out his work assignment. His boss wants to send him to open new markets in Malaysia. He'll be gone for 5 to 6 years. He won't see the kids again. Mamoru says, it's okay, please take care. Mamoru decides to fulfill the kids' wishes, then return them to their mom. He starts thinking about his own future now that the kids are growing up. When goodbye day comes, maybe they won't blame him to practice crying scenes. Kaoru even tries acting with a dog. Mamoru tells Kaoru if she feels nervous. She's too nervous to cry. Mamoru tells her to imagine being separated from someone she loves, or think about her late father. Soon the audition day arrives. Even with Mamoru cheering her on, Kaoru is still too nervous to breathe. But, as her agent says, Kaoru is born for this job. Her line delivery, her posture and movements. She meets all the director's expectations with perfect scores. But when the audition ends, Kaoru walks out looking defeated. Kaoru says, I failed. My crying scene wasn't good enough. She failed at the last moment. Mamoru comforts her, don't give up on your dream. He says, they didn't pick you because the director has no taste. But when Mamoru turns around, he sees Kaoru crying, just not during the audition. Kaoru says, I tried so hard, but I still failed. At this moment Mamoru feels like a useless father. He can only watch his daughter cry without being able to help. That night Mamoru drinks heavily and shares his worries with a neighbor. The landlord tells Mamoru, family isn't there just for a child's success. It's actually because of their failures. The landlord says, from now on it's your turn to step up. Kids must succeed on their own. They have to do it themselves. But when they fail, parents can help lift them back up. Mamoru shares his plan, returning the kids to their mom and leaving to work abroad for 5 years. But the 2 kids are eavesdropping outside. Aya hears Mamoru is leaving and gets upset. Aya yells, you don't understand anything. You don't know how it feels to be left behind, or to suddenly lose someone important. Not just Tomoki or Kaoru, but me too. The kids realize this might really be goodbye to Mamoru. Next day Mamoru hears parents say the audition was rigged. Even if Kaoru scored perfectly, she was just there to make others look good. Mamoru confronts the agent, who blames Kaoru for not trying hard. Mamoru snaps and fights the agent. He can endure any hardship himself, but his children must never be treated unfairly, because he knows better than anyone how hard Kaoru worked for this acting role. Because of Mamoru's outburst, Kaoru gets kicked out of the company. His daughter doesn't blame him when she returns, but the family stops talking to each other. Maybe he really doesn't deserve to be their father. The next day, Mamoru gets called to Tomoki's school. Surprisingly, gentle, Tomoki might get expelled. Some bullies found letters Tomoki wrote to a girl. They publicly humiliated her, and Tomoki couldn't take it. He fought them to defend her. Now the bullies' parents demand Tomoki's expulsion as punishment. Helpless Mamoru kneels and apologizes. Mamoru says, "My Tomoki hurt your son. I'm truly very sorry." But Tomoki gets angrier and runs away without looking back. After finally handling the school issue, Mamoru visits Kaoru's agent again. He begs for his daughter's training to continue. Mamoru says, "Kaoru really loves acting." The agent asks, "Then why did she laugh during the crying scene?" She didn't cry at all. In fact, she laughed happily. It turns out Kaoru laughed during her crying scene. This is the real reason she got rejected. The agent turns to leave, but Mamoru blocks his way for his child. He kneels down again. He keeps begging the agent. He just wants Kaoru to be forgiven. But the agent gets annoyed. He calls the police and Mamoru gets arrested. Luckily, Detective Conan knows Mamoru well. He doesn't give him trouble. Instead, he brings up something else. Conan says, "I've seen Tomoki getting bullied by kids, and he never fights back. But now he's starting fights at school. There must be a reason." Now Mamoru understands Tomoki has been bullied so much and he never understood him. Tomoki must feel so helpless. When the siblings get home, they hear Mamoru was arrested. Aya wants to go get him together, but Tomoki is still angry. He says he doesn't want to see Mamoru again. Kaoru tells Tomoki everything Mamoru has done. He does all this because he loves them so much. Maybe because they'll soon be apart. He wants to do more to make up for it. Now, when Mamoru feels worst, only the siblings can comfort him. Aya says, "Let's go get him together." The dog finds Mamoru first after he's released. Mamoru's eyes are full of sadness. He thinks he's failed as a father. He tried so hard, but couldn't make them happy. The dog says, "Kaoru and Tomoki are growing up well, thanks to you, my good friend." Just then Aya brings the kids to find him. Tomoki decides to tell Mamoru the truth about why he hit someone. A bully made fun of his letter in public, the letter he and Mamoru worked on for days. Tomoki says, "I'm used to being laughed at, but I won't let them laugh at you." Mamoru never expected Tomoki to care about him this much. Tears fill Mamoru's eyes, seizing the moment. Kaoru explains why she laughed during her interview. But the most important crying scene is about fathers. It's about the theme of fatherhood. But Kaoru's real father passed away when she was 6. At that time, she was too young to understand. Her memories of having a father seemed to begin when she met Mamoru. From that moment on, the siblings didn't feel lonely after their father's death. Instead, they felt happy because Mamoru came into their lives. As long as they're with Mamoru, it doesn't matter if the sun goes down, because what keeps children warm isn't just sunlight. Mamoru doesn't have fatherly poems, but he has his own special rules. These rules might seem strict, but they're actually for protection. Thinking carefully, Mamoru didn't give them much, yet he gave them everything. When Kaoru thinks of this, she laughs during the crying scene. At this moment, she decides to give up her dream of becoming a star, because being an actor means traveling all year for filming. This would mean being separated from them. The children show their diaries filled with memories from the past 4 years, for words they couldn't write. They drew pictures. Instead, Kaoru draws herself. She imagines how she will look when she grows up and gets married. She hopes Mamoru, as her father, will walk her down the aisle. Tomoki wants to become a scientist who makes Mamoru proud. He promises to give all his trophies to Mamoru. Kaoru says, "Mamoru, I don't want to be apart from you. I want to stay with you forever." Over the past 4 years, Mamoru has watched the children grow. He has become the light in their lives. Raising the kids alone, Mamoru has faced chaos and struggles. He has felt lost and helpless too. As one generation fades, it paves the way for another's bright future. After all, everyone has had carefree days of youth and dreams of freedom. Now Mamoru shields the kids from storms, but also stands with them in the rain. In places the siblings can't see, Mamoru quietly bears the weight of the world. He lets them stand on his shoulders so they can see the world as a beautiful place deep down. The siblings know Mamoru loves them in his own way. Simple, yet deeply meaningful. It's like the sunset painting the evening sky. Red, bright, beautiful, and touching. Mamoru takes out his old diary. On the last page he writes one important sentence. A family should face hardships together. The next day Mamoru decides to be brave. He takes out a love letter he wrote all night, but all his feelings fit in just 2 lines. Mamoru says, "Aya, I like you. Will you be my girlfriend?" Aya says, "I'm sorry." Mamoru says, "Oh, that's okay." Aya says, "I only want to marry you." Mamoru and the kid's story ends here. but their happiness continues as long as they keep their loved ones in heart. Travelers won't feel rushed. Lonely people won't feel the road as long.